Hi students, welcome to your math lesson of the day. Today we're still working on counting to 120, but in today's lesson, instead of counting by ones, we are going to be counting by tens to 120. So let's go ahead and get started. If we start out by, might help if I first write down the number. If we count by tens to 120, we first start out with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Woo, we did it. See, that was so much quicker than counting by ones, right? And it took less than a half a page for me to count by tens through 120, but compared to 2 like last time. But again, we have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and 120. And I'm going to count that again, and you guys could do side punches like we did in live class. Are you ready? Go. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and 120. Woo! Congratulations! And since we're learning about 120, let's take a look at this number and talk about its number place value. So if we were looking at this number and I was to say, so what number is in the tens place? What number is that? Which number's in the tens place? It's the 2. It's 10 because that 2 represents 20. If that one wasn't in front of the 2, it would represent 20, and 20 is bigger than 10. And I like to think of it, if a number's bigger than 10, it's going to be in the tens place. Now, which number's in the hundreds place? It's going to be the 1, because the 1 in front of the 2 makes it 100. And the number's going to be in 100's place if it's bigger than 100. So that means which number's in the ones place? The 0. And I always like to think of it this way. So the ones, tens, and hundreds place is always going to be in the same order. So it's going to be from least to greatest. So it's going to keep on getting higher as the arrow keeps moving. But start on your right side, it's going to be 0, tens, 100s, and then depending on if you have an additional number like 1,000, then we have thousands place, but we're not going to be talking about that. We're just going to be focusing on 100, the hundreds place, tens place, and ones place. Okay, I'm going to clear that out. And since we're talking about tens, let's do a little quick review of greater than, less than, or equal to. So if we have the number 80 and 80, which number's greater, which number's less than? Well, if we look on the number line and we count by, by tens, 80 is going to be the same number as 80, so we'll use our equal sign. But what if we have 70 and 80 now? Which number's greater? Well, if we even count by from 0 to 10, we know that 8 is greater than 7 because 8 is closer to 10 further away from 0. 7 is closer to 0 on the number line. So in this problem, 80 is greater than 70, and I like to think of it like this way. I like to do the little mouth. I want the bigger piece of cake, so I want to eat the bigger number. So I like to think of it as like I want to eat the bigger number. But 80 is greater than 70. But what if we have 60 and 40? Which number's bigger? Well, if we count from, if we look at the 6 and the 4, since we know 0 have no value, I like to look at the number in the tens place. So we know 6 is closer to 10 than 4 is because we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is further up. 6 is going closer to 10, and then 4 is closer to 0. So we want to eat the bigger number, so we're going to eat 60. Okay, so that's just a little review of equal, less than, and greater than. Just a little quick review of that. But yeah, but in this lesson in 6.2 in Big Ideas Math, we are going to learn how to count by tens at a random starting point. So we have 70. What are the next numbers? If we were going to keep on counting upwards, so we're not going to count down, we're not counting backwards to 0, we're counting upward to 100. So we can even think about it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we know 8, if we add a 0 in the ones place with 8, we would have 80, and then 90, and then 100, then 110, and then what's the last one? 120. That's where we're going to stop because that's where we're learning to count from. But yeah, we just did 0, 80, 90, 100, 110, and 120. Well, now this one gets a little more complicated. So we're still counted by tens, but what if our starting number was 60? See, I'm going to make it blue, 62. So if we add 10 to 62, what would that be? Well, if we add 0 to 2, it would be 2 because 0 has no value. And if we add 6 plus 1, we would get 7. So we would get 72. And then if we count, or if we add by 10 to 72, we would get 82. And then 92. And then what do you think is going to be after 92? The 2's still going to be there, but if we count, you know, by 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'll be 102. And then it will be 112. Okay. So like we've been practicing counting by tens, but we've always started, you know, like on 60, 70, 80, 90, but now it's being a little different. We're still counting by tens, but we are starting with a different number in these problems in your math textbook. But in your big math ideas, like we are going to be focusing on counting by tens, but it might be at any random number. So it could be a random number on 58, and you might have to count on by 10. So it'll be 58, and then 68, and then 78. But whenever what problem you're on, the ones place is not going to change because if you notice, the 2 is still going to be there. You want to think of it like you're counting by ones, but you're add in that additional number in the ones place. Because you see, like, if we ignore the ones place, like the 2, we are still counting by 0 through 10. So if you notice, we go by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But we're just adding that number in the given one place, depending on whatever problem in your Big Ideas Math. But that's what we're going to be focused on, counting by tens at random numbers. And if you want more additional practice with this or confused about this, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.